implant surface to the bone without any intervening of the connective tissue. This definition is from GPT. Then we have it is basically a direct structural and functional connection which helps in transmitting the functional stresses directly to the bone. So in order to achieve the osteo integration, the bone should be viable and the space between the implant and the bone should be less than 10 nanometer and should contain no fibrous tissue. If the fibrous tissue is present, it signifies the chances of a failure through fracture. Now the factors which will favor osteointegration, these are proper treatment planning, atraumatic drilling of bone, implant design. Then we have favorable occlusal forces, bone quality, good oral hygiene, and no contraindication, local or systemic factors, and nature of surface and coating. When a coating of bioactive glass on the surface of titanium is used, it combines the strength of titanium as well as the bioactive qualities. Now, in some individuals, there is titanium allergy. Titanium allergy, in recent studies from Japan and Europe, it has been seen that 2 to 4% of the people who have undergone titanium implants show allergic reactions, type 1 and type 4 type of allergic reactions. So, the symptoms are usually because of the stimulated lymphocytes which produce cytokines, and that affects the HPA axis, the hypothalamus pituitary axis. Then the allergy, it is also seen that the titanium allergy manifests as a result of the individual being allergic to certain other metals as well, like nickel and mercury. In certain non-specific symptoms are also seen, like fatigue, pain, cognitive dysfunction, headache, sleep problems. All these symptoms will also manifest on the mucosa in the mouth, which is lying adjacent to the implant, also to the skin, body, and systemic symptoms as well. So in patients who are allergic to titanium, we prefer zirconia implants. Now, the zirconia implants are preferred because they have high strength, fracture toughness, and they have white color. Indication is important and is very understandable itself. Then we also yes, zirconia at anatomic root for implants. This is basically an alternative to the conventional cylindrical implants and can be milled into shapes of natural tooth structure. This is important because it directly adapts to the extraction socket instead of adapting to the bone to a preformed standardized implant, and decreases the trauma to the bone as well as the soft tissue. This is made by CAD/CAM technology. Advantages of using a zirconia: aesthetic, biocompatible, immediate placement, no additional drilling has to be done or surgery has to be done, no complication of implant surgery, shorter waiting period, that is, it is a direct restoration. If you do extraction directly, you can put on to zirconia implants. Then it fills into the original socket, so you do not have to form a preformed standardized implant and then adapt it to the bone. Then it has immediate placement, as explained earlier. It preserves the root eminences of the alveolar bone. The sinus lift is not required. Then the bone graft is also not required. Little or no swelling or pain is observed. Faster recovery time. Now, how are implant surfaces made, and how is the coating done? The implant surface should be very proper because biointegration has to take place. It is achieved by two procedures. First are the ablative procedures, and the second are the additive procedures. In the ablative procedures, we remove certain materials on the surface of the object by blasting process, vaporization, chipping, and other erosive procedures. Coming on to the first process of ablative procedures is grit blasting. In this, the rough surface is created by grit blasting the machined titanium implant surface with hard particles. This is, the particles are projected through a nozzle with high velocity by means of compressed air. Then washing is done in a non-etching acid and distilled water. Then there is a removal of the residual blasting material, which leads to a micro-textured surface which increases the bone opposition and also increases the surface area. The materials which are used for grid blasting are calcium triphosphate, then we have titanium oxide, zirconia, alumina. However, in alumina there is a problem because the residual blasting materials will still remain embedded into the implant structure and will interfere with the integration. Then we coming on to the second process, that is acid etching. In acid etching we prefer strong acids like sulfuric acid and hydrochloric acid. They provide a cleaner surface, so no residual materials will be left, so there will be a good integration. There no possibility of loss of the layer through debonding or dissolution or wears, thus avoiding concerns of long term fixation. Anodization. Anodizing is an electrochemical process used to increase the thickness of the natural oxide layer on the surface of titanium. It modifies the microstructure and the crystallinity of the titanium oxide layer. Strong acids will be used like sulfuric acid, phosphoric, nitric acid, and with high current density and voltage. Then short laser peeling. It is very similar to the sand blasting, where surface is bombarded with small spherical particles causing small indentations to form. The laser pinning involves high intensity pulses of laser to create a regular honeycomb pattern with small pores. Now, the second one procedure was additive procedures. In this, we create an extra layer by addition of some material, for example, hydroxyapatite coated implants. They have an osteoinductive and an osteoconductive effect. They are usually done by plasma spraying. So in this, a gas stream like for example argon or a mixture of argon and hydrogen is taken. They carry the hydroxyapatite powder, then it is passed through an electrical plasma produced by a low voltage high current electric discharge. Then this plasma will heat the hydroxyapatite powder. This will partially melt it. Then the semi molten hydroxyapatite powder sprayed onto titanium will solidify. But in this procedure, it is seen that the thickness is always greater than 30 micrometer. Thus, the bonding also is truly mechanical in nature. So the problems are, there is a variation in the bond strength between the coating and the metallic substrate. Then there is an alteration in the hydroxyapatite structure due to the coating process. Then there is a poor adhesion between the coatings and the metallic substrates. Then the third procedure is biomimetic coating technique. In this, the nucleation and growth of the bone like crystals is done on a pre-treated substrate by immersing it in supersaturated solutions of calcium phosphate under physiological conditions. This completes the chapter dental implant as given in the book Manna Palil. And if you've not subscribed to my channel, subscribe, like and comment. Thank you.